Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sesh. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Oh, hello, hotties, and welcome back to the Smoke Sesh podcast. My name is Hannah, your host, and I am so excited to be back with you all on this beautiful little whatever day you're listening to this. Honestly, every day has been just like really so nice out, and I'm really just enjoying the springtime weather. We actually had a lot of thunderstorms coming through. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Obviously, global warming, yes, it's real. We believe in science in this family, okay? We believe in science and facts. And the spring storms have been out of control. I'm talking like past 5 years, spring storms, maybe we have like 2 or 3 really bad ones. And then the rest were kind of just like gray, hazy, little rainy days. No. This spring has been sunshine, beautiful, and then like torrential downpour, sirens going off, tornadoes, thunderstorms, which honestly I kind of prefer it that way because it feels more, I don't know, it's more of an experience. There's nothing better than like a spring thunderstorm on an evening, like a Sunday evening after doing all of your chores and you're just resting and relaxing in bed. Oh, it's the best. It truly is the best. So I've really just been trying to enjoy the weather, get outside. We went to the river for the first time this season, which was so exciting about. Just sat in the sun and like picked up rocks just very mindlessly, ate a sandwich by the river. Very chill, very relaxing, very nice. I need to get back out there though and go clean up the trash. That's a big thing on my to-do list. We just had Earth Day. Love your mother. Thank you, Mother Earth, for everything you give us. Truly, there is nothing better than this planet and this earth and being able to experience it. And we take this bitch for granted. Talk about people taking people for granted. Yeah, us with Mother Nature. She deserves a break. Okay, she's obviously pissed with the thunderstorms and tornadoes we've been getting. And we need to show her some love. I need to get out there with like a trash bag and a trash picker upper and go clean up the river because, I don't know, people just love to trash Mother Nature for some reason. But that's big on my to-do list. Something that I'll do probably next time I go. It was just nice to get out there though and experience it and put my toes in some fresh water. I've had a big week, honestly. Bigger than I usually have. Thus, usually I'm on like my grind. I'm usually like, I have a new vlog for you and I have things to see on Instagram and reels and cooking and blah, 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 blah. This week, I really intentionally took it very slow. I kind of pulled back on some heavy work that I was doing just because leading up to the weekend, my cat had surgery. So I was in a very anxious state, one could say. Anxious in the way that it's like, you know, when you have something coming up, something big, something scary, or like even when someone's like, we gotta talk, something you have to wait on. It's the worst. My anxiety is the worst in those moments. Of course, it's really bad when I'm making shit up in my head, but it's absolutely the worst when it's like, oh, this is reality, this is real. I have to just like wait and sit here in my feelings and my emotions instead of hurrying the process along. So just to kind of like give myself a break and not have like a massive panic attack central, I just really took it slow this week. Went to the river, chilled out. I bought myself some new oil paints as a way to distract myself, which we'll get into in a second. I've been really in a creative mode recently, and just trying to manage my anxiety as we approached Danger's little surgery, which I'm sure you're wondering. It went fantastic. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. If you kept us in your thoughts or your prayers or anything, any good energy you sent my way, thank you so much. If you know me, you know the struggles me and my cat have had with health issues. One notoriously a year ago, but this time around it was kind of just like routine maintenance. He is about to turn 14. He's an older cat, okay, an older gentleman. That's how I like them. And he was due for a teeth cleaning, okay? His mouth smelled like rotten pig's feet. I'm not even kidding. It smelled, we called him Pea Head. That was his new nickname, was Pea Head, because his little head smelled like pea from how bad his mouth smells. So when the vet was like, it's time for a cleaning, I was like, yeah, it probably is time. It probably is time for a mouth cleaning. But whenever your cat is going in for any sort of procedure, it can be very nerve-wracking, anxiety inducing. Like, that is my child. I did birth him. I feel his pain. I feel his worry. I feel his anxiety. Even though he had no idea what was coming up, I knew, and that was freaking me out. Especially him going under anesthesia. That's always a risk. Of course, it's a very, very low risk, like the same amount of risk that a human would have going under anesthesia. It's like medical procedures, they can always go wrong, but I trust my vet 1,000%. Everybody in that fucking office knows danger. Trust. Like, I call them and they don't even have to ask who I am. They must have like my name in the system at this point in time. They're like, oh yeah, danger, he's scheduled for this. Like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God. Having a good vet is honestly so nice and really does ease a lot of my anxieties because they love him as much as I do. So I did have a lot of trust and belief in the fact that they were going to take care of him. But yeah, I was just nervous about the whole anesthesia part. And then also I was like, they might have to take all of his teeth out. Like, who knows? I have no idea what's going on in there. He won't let me see in there. He's a small cat. I can't see inside his mouth. All I know is it reeks. It stinks. Okay. So that happened this weekend. I dropped him off like really early in the morning. The vet was so nice. It was like him and then a bunch of dogs, because dogs make sense. Of course, their mouth's rotting. Like, they're eating trash and poop. Cats are a little bit cleaner, but they were like, we're going to get him done first. Okay. Before all these other dogs, the dogs can chill and wait. We'll get your cat done first. We'll call you. So I was up at like 7 a.m. and then I was just manically oil painting after that to try and distract myself. I even bought the vet team like a dozen donuts as like a thank you because I needed some sort of distraction or good karma. I don't know. I needed to put like positive energy into the universe, so I got positive energy back. And then they called me and they're like, well, no extractions. Don't need to do extractions. Everything's good. He's like, are you sure he's never had his teeth cleaned? I was like, no trust. Never ever has he had his teeth cleaned. He probably should have, but no, he has never had his teeth cleaned. He's like, for a 14-year-old cat, this is probably like, I mean, of course there's tartar and stuff in there, but this is the nicest teeth I've seen on a 14-year-old cat. I was like, oh my God, thank God. Oh my God, thank God. So no extractions needed. They just cleaned up the tartar and kind of polished his little teeth up. Okay. And he was good to come home. Of course, a little loopy after the anesthesia, a little on edge, but safe to say, 3 days later, he's back to his usual normal self. He is doing good. He is munching down food. Previously, I could tell it hurt a little bit to chew on those back teeth because there was so much tartar buildup. Now he's like scarfing down food, which I'm happy about. Okay, he can eat as much as he wants for a little bit, considering he's been through trauma central. But it just, wow. Thank God that went smoothly, easily. It was quite a big bill, but I am happy to pay whatever it is to make sure this cat gets like, I don't know, I'm gunning for like 10 more years out of him. I think I can get him into his early 20s. I think if I take the right precautions, I can do that. That's my main goal in life. He still is just like a little young kitten in my eyes, but I'm so happy that, you know, even though my anxiety was out of control, that I took the initiative to put him in a position to better his health, to get that done, to take care of that, and to make sure he is set up for success. So yes, thank you guys if you kept us in your thoughts. Truly, wow. I don't know why I thought his teeth cleaning would be so easy. It's just the anesthesia that freaks me out. It's like, what if he goes to bed and never wakes up again? Oh my God, my worst nightmare. Truly, I would have set that vet office on fire, even though I know it's not their fault. It's not their fault. My rage would have had to go somewhere. Anyways, got to do that. And then my brother and sister-in-law came into town with all the kids, so I got to hang out with them, see them. It's always nice to be around children. I'm not really around children as often as I ever have been, considering, I don't know, I spent 10 years of my life working with children very closely. It's really nice to be around them because it's like they don't give a hoot or a holler. They truly are just living their best lives, munching down cotton candy. We went to the Royals game, we went to a baseball game. They were just like eating hot dogs and cotton candy and Dippin' Dots and spinning on the carousel as fast as they could. And it was so nice to be around. It really was. It's like a nice breath of fresh air. And it's also a nice breath of fresh air because my sister-in-law is the best mother ever. Truly, if I can be even 1% of the mother she is when I grow up, I will be so incredibly happy, because it's like the kid, my niece and nephew, very normal, very chill little kids, but of course some kids have their quirks, and my niece gets really overwhelmed in like loud situations or like really busy situations. Of course, with a lot of people, a lot of things going on, and so she started kind of having like a little bit of like a like a little spiral moment, and my sister-in-law was on it. She had the noise canceling headphones out, she had the Nido, she had little like toys, little something to distract her. She talked her through it. She's patient with her. If she's breaking down and crying, or my nephew's breaking down and crying, she's patient, she's calm, she talks them through their emotions. I'm like, oh my god, girl. Every time I see her, I'm like, props to you. You need to be getting paid way more for this job, because I know you're not getting paid for it, but they need to raise that salary. Okay, my brother needs to raise that salary immediately, because you are doing the Lord's work. They don't even know what a tablet is. No idea what a tablet is. All they know is music and storybooks, as it should be as a small child, but it takes so much willpower to be able to do that, to be patient with them, to work with them, and it is just like so nice to see. It gives me hope for the children. It gives me hope for the next generation of children that there will be some sane ones. So shout out to her for that. We had some family pictures taken. We went to the park. We celebrated my sister-in-law's birthday. We went out to lunch. It was a good, beautiful little weekend. It was so nice, especially once I got the anxiety out of the way. It turned out to be a beautiful week. So I hope you guys were feeling that energy. I hope you guys were feeling the peace and calm that hopefully has come into the air for you. And if you are not experiencing that, I wish it upon you endlessly. Okay, spring is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to feel renewing. It's meant to feel exciting, abundant, prosperous. But to be able to receive that energy, you kind of have to go after it. That's what I'm realizing. I've realized like past springs in my life where I was just lazier. Let's be honest. I was just lazier in general. I was like, I'm just going to sit and scroll on my phone. Actually, I'm going to live my life through my phone. It would be like, oh wow, spring's already passed. Now it's summer and I'm so bored and I haven't done anything that I wanted to do. I never went to any baseball games. I never went to the park. I haven't been to the river yet. I haven't been to the pool. And looking back on those years, it's like, damn, bitch, if you really would have just put the phone down and gone outside, like you would have had such a fun time. And so I'm really trying to get into that zone this spring and like do as many different things as possible that calls to me. No matter how tired I am, no matter how exhausted I am, no matter how early I have to wake up, just like get up, go, do it alone, do it scared, do it tired, do it nervous, whatever the fuck. Do it in general, because ultimately at the end of the day, you will feel so much better. You'll feel so much more like one with life and not like life is dragging you by the hair. And also it slows down time. I'm somebody who, especially when you get older, time just starts going faster and faster and faster and faster, and the years pass by quickly. Not to scare you, it's just a reality. But if you want to really slow down and savor time and like make sure you're like living every season to the most, you have to be doing different activities. So I love like a seasonal bucket list. I really do, as a way to kind of like, whenever you're like, I want to do something but I don't know what to do, pull out the bucket list, pull out the list of things to do. Here's some things that I have done off my bucket list that maybe would inspire you. Tulip fields. We went to the tulip fields. We went tulip picking. It was so fun. It was so fantastic. Tulip season, I think, is over right now, but I guarantee if you live anywhere near even a patch of farmland, which, babe, if you live in America, there's farmland near you, I promise you, there is something called You Pick Flowers. Look up You Pick Flowers in my area. Sometimes it's literally in people's backyards. They just grow flowers and then they charge you like $25 and it's all you can pick flowers. I love doing that in the spring and summer. It's so fun to just like be in the field, see the bees, see the flowers, pick out your own, build a bouquet, get a little bit of a sunburn. You know, it's nice to just be outside and be one with nature in that kind of regard. So any you pick activities. Speaking of, it's strawberry season, okay? You pick strawberries. You can go to the fields, you can go to the farm, you can go pick your own strawberries. I do that every single season, and it usually lasts from the end of April to the end of May. So you usually have a month, but then it's blueberry season after that. Then it's blackberry season. Then it's raspberry season. Then it's apple season. Then it's cherry season. You know, so there's always a good fruit season to go out and just be in nature, pick some fruit, savor it, enjoy it. There's always like strawberry donuts or something, or strawberry slushies at the farm that I go to. It's so nice. Another thing, going to the river. I don't know if you guys grew up going to the river spots, whatever it was. I grew up going to the Ozarks. Everybody in my family shared a lake house in the Ozarks growing up. And so usually it was like every weekend from, I don't know, April to honestly November. Even in the winter, we'd go out there just as an escape. We were in the water, splashing around, playing around. Ozark water, nasty, disgusting, but listen, I was a wild child. I was raised to not really fear much of nature. So I was out there, I was swimming, I was collecting bugs. I was just like running free in the forest. And eventually, you know, the family decided to cut that off and sell the house. And I kind of lost that part of spring and summer that I really look forward to. But I realized, I can recreate that in my own life. Maybe not as like a lake house vacation, but still getting my feet into some water, because that's truly all I was craving. So I found a local little like swimming spot, local river spot. I'm sure you have like local little lakes you can go kayaking on. Maybe just throw a hammock up near. But I love just getting to the river, eating a sandwich, putting my feet in the water. Is that too much to ask? That's always on my spring bucket list. Sometimes in the past, I would wait until summer to do this. And it's like, wow, bitch, you could have been enjoying this double the amount of time if you started earlier, especially when the weather's nice and not so freaking hot out. Spring's the best time to go and enjoy this. And you know what? I'll challenge you. I've recently fallen in love with horses. If you've never been on a horse, I highly encourage you to do so. Do your research on where you're going. Just Google trail rides in my area. Quite literally, it's that simple. There's like 18 places out where I live. Of course, I literally live in Missouri. Okay, so keep this in mind. Like, country girl, shake it. Like, we are out here. Of course, there's a lot of horses, but I guarantee anywhere you go, like, I'm about to go to California for my birthday and I'm looking up horseback riding, and there's so many different options. Anywhere you go, I guarantee there's options. Do your research, make sure they're well cared for, make sure it's going to be like a good time, make sure it's within your budget. But go on like an hour horseback riding tour, okay? These horses are the chillest horses you ever met. This is the 1,000th time they've done this. They're so used to it. And you're going to get out in nature, kind of see a new perspective and bond with the animal. Is there really anything better? No, there's not. No, there is not. Oh my God, I cannot wait to lease my horse. I'm so excited just to kind of like escape and be alone on horseback. It's going to be so beautiful. But if you've never been on a horse, fuck it. You know what? Add it to the bucket list. I challenge you to do that. Another weird one that I'm kind of adding to spring that I mentioned earlier is to go clean up trash. I don't know what it is about people who like litter. I think if you litter, you're going to hell. Who are you? So I'm going to go to the river and probably clean up some trash next time I go, just as a way to like, I don't know, check something else off my bucket list and feel like I'm doing something good for the earth, get a little good karma out of it. Why not? Hello? Because it's like, I don't want to sit next to the river by someone's dirty undies and like Coke cans. No, thank you. I want a clean river to sit in. And sometimes it takes you doing the work, okay? Sometimes you'll wait around for someone else to do the work. Nope. If you want the work done, sometimes it's you who has to do the work. Another one that I've already done, which is a vlog, if you want to watch it on YouTube at Hannah Marlene 444, is make my herb gardens. Now that it's not like freezing at night anymore, I do need to fill in the rest of my patio balcony. I love planting any sort of herb, you can get like big pots and do berry bushes, strawberries if you want to hang them up, tomatoes. All of these I really just do on my patio. My patio also doesn't get a ton of sunlight. Also just planting like sweet potato vines is a way to kind of get a little privacy fence going with all of my vines. I can kind of grow them out. It's really beautiful, and I really want to get my hands into some dirt a little bit more. But I really started off early this spring with my herb garden. That was so fun to create. And my herbs, guess what? All surviving, all going crazy. I even cut off a little bit of the catnip that I've been growing and dried it out and then crushed it up. Oh my God. It's crazy cat mom. And then gave it to my cat because he loves catnip. Fantastic. 10 out of 10 recommend. Speaking of herbs, this is something that's on my summer bucket list because the place doesn't really have anything going on soon, but I want to take a like tea or herbal class. I love a class. If you can figure out one singular, like, or maybe not class, because sometimes class seems intimidating, but workshop. I love a workshop that you can do every season. They're so fun to do. I love a workshop. I love learning. I love knowledge. I love nerds. I love growing my brain, reconnecting those synapses or whatever the fuck they're called after smoking them away, okay? Closing the holes in my brain by gaining new knowledge. I really want to take like a herbal class. There's this one like herbal farm near me that I actually discovered at a local farmer's market. If you're not going to the farmer's market, what are you doing? Okay, another spring bucket list. Farmer's market. I met this lady who oh my God, she makes the best soaps. She's like, oh yeah, all of the scents you're smelling are hand grown by me on my farm. We just started doing workshops and tours of the farm. If you want to come out and do a workshop, would love to do it with you. So I think I'm going to take their making balms and butters class, which is you make lip balms, you make body butters, and you do it out of locally grown herbs, things that are seasonally available to you. And then also, what's it called? It's like it's something crazy. I kind of love living in like the middle of nowhere Midwest because it's like, you know what? Maybe we will need that at some point. It's like making medicine out of local herbs for the end times. It's like, girl, what? But yes, I want to know more. I'm curious. Like, you piqued my interest. Let me take the class for $45. I don't give a fuck. So yeah, I definitely want to get a workshop in. That's big on my to-do list for spring. There's something else spring that also makes me want to do like a big deep clean of my entire house. I feel like I need to rid everything from my life. I know. You've heard about the spring purge over and over and over again, but I feel like there's still too much around me and I need to do another round. Maybe I'll vlog it for you guys if you're interested. But always cleaning and purging my life of anything that is unnecessary. And finally, last but certainly not least, I want to get more creative, okay? I want to get more creative in my life. I realize that is like a really big driving factor in who I am. And I create in many different ways, okay? But I missed the old style art creative ability of just sitting down and simply painting. I feel like I was not living up to my true potential painting in acrylics. I feel like I wasn't able to translate what I wanted to onto the canvas accordingly because I don't know, I'm just picky and I love working with oil paints, and I actually haven't worked with oil paints since I was in high school. I worked only with oil paints in high school. That's what I did my entire AP art portfolio on. And I've just been feeling very inspired with I don't know, nature and being out in it more often and just showing appreciation. And so peak anxiety. I was like, I have to distract myself. I have to get outside. I have to do something before I lose my mind and start spiraling and put myself in a straitjacket and just rock back and forth butt ass naked on the floor. That doesn't need to happen. So I went to the art supply store, which, heads up, Blick is having like a 40% off, I don't know, discount going on right now. Crazy. Thank God, divine timing. So I went crazy at the art supply store and like bought all brand new oil paints, brushes, and sat down and painted for like 24 hours. And I was like, yes, this is actually what makes life worth living. Oh yeah, I forgot how I can really paint, and if I just do what I want to do, it really does turn out how I want it to turn out. Crazy. So that's kind of everything on my list. Hopefully I can inspire you guys to do something of the sort. But I love you all so much, and enough of me yapping. Let's get into your guys' question. Actually, I guess this is a good question to kind of follow into. Someone said, how to find creativity as a non-creative person? Honestly, and I always say this. I've said this literally since forever. I know you've never heard it, but I have always said it. Growing up, I was always a creative person. I was always drawing. I was always painting. I was always doing stuff. I was always in art shows. I was always just like involved in the art community. And every single time, it would be like my friends showing up or my friends seeing my artwork or my parents or literally random strangers, my grandma, people who are labeled quote unquote non-creative like you are. They would come up to me and they'd be like, oh my God, like I can't even draw a stick figure. This is crazy. It's like, thank you. I appreciate the compliment, but also I don't appreciate compliments that are putting yourself down in order to uplift somebody else, because my rebuttal is I truly believe every single person is a creative individual. Every single person. You're like, no, not me. I can't draw. Okay, you can't draw, but can you paint? But can you do pottery? But can you do music? But can you do this? But can you do that? Like, everybody has a different realm in which they are a creative individual. I do not believe in the idea that we as humans are not creative. I think we are born with the innate need to be creative, to utilize our brains in ways that we never have, to think outside of the box, and to indulge in art. It's something that we all crave in many different ways, and everybody has different outlets, but it's something that we all contain inside of ourselves. So first of all, you have to release the label that you're putting on yourself that you are not a creative person. And you kind of have to, step number one of being creative is you got to get delusional about it. Okay. You are literally taking something from your brain that doesn't exist and making it into a reality. You have to be a little delusional in order to do that. And that comes in many different realms. Maybe you're like an abstract Lego builder and you're just taking something in your head and reaching in a random bucket of Legos and building it out of your brain. Maybe it's like painting. Maybe it's sculpting. Maybe it's like bedazzling things. Like, it doesn't have to be super, super wild out there, but it's something you thought of and are bringing into reality, and thus it holds weight as a creative act. In order to kind of like transmute that energy and be able to bring things into reality, you have to be a little delusional. So rid yourself of the label of, oh, I'm not a creative person. I can't even draw a stick figure. I could never do that. It's like, stop telling yourself that, because what you tell yourself is your reality. So if you tell yourself, oh, I'm not that. Oh, I could never be that. Oh, this, oh, that. And I understand sometimes it is like you trying to give a compliment, but what is a compliment at the expense of yourself? Always talk positively about yourself, about the people around you. It will take you much further than anything else will, because I believe you're a creative individual. I do. You gotta kind of start believing in yourself. Step number 2 is the best creative acts are the one that feel like right in your soul. If I try to sit down and like make pottery, I don't know what it is about pottery. I love it. I can be successful at it if I put myself towards it, but it's not something that calls to me. It's not something that I feel driven by. It's not something that feels like right in my heart or my soul. Is it something I can sit down and do and enjoy and possibly be good at? Yeah, absolutely. But is it something that I feel driven by? No, not at all. You have to find that act, that creative act that you're just like curious about and driven by and intuitively called to. For me, for some reason, it is oil painting. It's always been oil painting, and I don't know why I've fought it for so long. Especially, I don't know, literally not doing it for like 10 years and finally sitting down to do it. It's like, bitch, why the fuck did you wait 10 years to do this? You enjoy it so much. You love it so much. And, I'm not going to put myself down about that. Thank God I finally picked it back up. I guarantee there's something in your heart that you're like curious or excited by or wanting to indulge into that's a creative act, and I highly encourage you to do so. Maybe it's like aquascaping. I'm not even kidding. Maybe it's like creating different like forms of plants and aquariums. Maybe it's making bikinis. Maybe it's creating hats. Maybe it's tattooing. Maybe it's literally just pencil drawing or drawing with colored pencils. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's even just reading. Reading is a creative act. Maybe it's music. I don't care what it is, but there's something that you are sitting here and you're listening to me and you're like, oh, damn, she is talking about that one thing in my heart. There's something that's popping into your head. That's the thing that you should be kind of like just dipping your toes in and indulging in, okay? And sometimes it takes trying things, realizing, it's not for me. That's all right too. Because step number, what are we on? 3 is you got to be bad at it. You got to be bad before you can ever be good, okay? And if you're not willing to be bad at something, you will never be good at it. If you are going to be a creative person, a creative individual, you have to release the ego. You do. You can't do it for the idea of, oh, well, someone's going to see this, or I'm going to see this or that, or whatever in the third. You have to do it as a, like, think of it as like a competition with yourself to see how you can produce, why, understanding more about the technique, understanding more about it, and just the aspect of being in the creative act. Who cares about the outcome? Just be willing to get into the act of creating, because that will give you more than being successful, okay? Do not be afraid to be bad in order to be good. Release the ego. Allow yourself to be bad, because guess what? I have a lot of bad art. I have a lot of art that I've sat down and painted and been like, what the fuck was I on? What was I on? What was going on? But that also then led to me creating a lot of really good art. A lot of art that I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? It's because I got the bad art out of the way in order to create the good. Or I learned a new technique in the bad art that then I was able to apply to the good art. Or simply like the hours I put into the bad art got me more experience, and then I was able to translate that to the good art. Okay? You gotta be willing to be bad. Who cares if it's bad art? All I care about is that you're indulging in the act of creating. Speaking of, you really just gotta create. All right? Sometimes that means working on 4 different paintings at once, or making a 30-minute or 30-second snippet of a song, or just simply working on one beat, or switching it up. Sometimes I'll pick up a painting, work on it, put it away, come back to it in a month. Who cares? All right. Just be in the act of creating, and doing it as much as possible will teach you more than anything else. And also, there's something about being in the flow state of being a creative individual and creating in general and getting creative that will make you feel more in tune with yourself, will make you feel like you're actually utilizing life in a positive way, will make you actually feel like, wow, damn, I'm actually doing something with my time, and will get you more excited about the moments to come, because you're going to be hyping up that energy inside of yourself to then create more. All right. Literally every single split second of the day, I'm like, ooh, is my next layer of my oil painting dry so I can go in there and work on more? Like, literally, I'm staring at it at the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to sit down and work on this afternoon. I am just like so over the phone. I really am. I'm someone who has very little self-control with the phone. Once I open it and start scrolling, it's really hard to stop. And so I've kind of realized that, and I'm trying to negate that habit with implementing positive ones. And I think supplementing that need to dissociate with creating and being in a creative mindset is so much more enthralling, and also you like get so much more out of it, and you're getting the same kind of feeling you want, but in a positive way. Truly and honestly, when you're on your phone and you're scrolling, you're kind of doing it to dissociate. Are you really doing it for research? Are you really doing it to find inspiration? I mean, sometimes I need to look up a recipe. It is what it is. I get off the phone immediately. But when you're in that aspect of like drooling, eye twitching, and like scroll, I'm talking thousands of TikToks after TikToks, that's because you just want to dissociate. Sometimes in life, you just want to dissociate and like be in this other realm where you're not like connected so much to self or life, but you need to be doing that in a healthy manner. And scrolling on your phone is not a healthy way to do that, but creating is, okay? This is why I really encourage you to simply just like pick up the pencil again, pick up the paintbrush again, get on your laptop and download GarageBand, get out your Lego sets, put your fingers in some dirt. It is so transformative. It is so enthralling. It makes life so much more enjoyable. And also, it's such a healthy outlet to be in that dissociative zone while also connecting to something that's actually bringing a positive outcome in your life. It's such a good habit to pick up. It really is. And I encourage you all to go do something creative this week. Even if it's just like, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy some twine and some beads and I'm going to just make bracelets. I don't care how trivial you think it is, how quote unquote simple you think it is, how quote unquote dumb you think it is. If it is inspiring or eventful or encouraging or intriguing to you, then it holds weight and it holds meaning and it holds power, and that's something you should be leaning into and looking into. I'm not even kidding. I don't know, I had a breaking point where I was like scrolling on my phone about my cat and like health anxiety and like people's experience with dental cleanings with their cat and oh my god, anesthesia. And then I go on a wormhole of like just like bad experiences people had, and then I started like freaking out. And keep in mind, it's like 1:30 in the morning. Like, bitch, you need to be asleep, get off the phone. So then I was like, well, I can't go to sleep now, I have to kind of like switch my mindset somewhere else. So I was on my phone just kind of like scrolling on Pinterest or whatever, and I came across a painting. I was like, oh, this artist is really interesting. And then I came across like videos about him and his talent and where he came from, and then I started researching his whole entire life. And then I came so inspired, I literally the next day had to go buy oil paints to go paint. And thank God I was able to, switch my brain from that unhealthy coping mechanisms to a positive one, and then indulge fully in the positive one, to throw myself fully into it as a way to kind of like, bitch, we gotta save ourselves. Because now I just have become so obsessed, so excited about life. And honestly, it is so nice to have something when in the middle of the day or end of the night or whatever it is, whenever I have a moment of free time, it's something I look forward to and I get so much out of. I feel so much more connected to myself and connected to just my passions. It feels very inspiring. And I want you all to feel that too. But that means taking a risk, listening to yourself, following your heart, and indulging in whatever you feel called to do, okay? There's nothing weird. There's nothing odd. If you feel intuitively driven by it, it holds meaning, and I want you to listen to that, okay? That's how I felt about oil painting. And then I finally sat down and did it, and it's like, bitch, we should have been doing this for years. But also, we're not going to shame, because that's going to drive it away. We're just going to listen to that feeling. We're going to lean into it, and we're going to dive in fully. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? But I truly believe every single person here on this earth is a creative individual in many different ways and manners. Sometimes you just got to take time to find it. And that means trying things on, seeing if they work, listening to your heart, and being willing to be bad at it, as well as being willing to do it over and over and over and over again. Thank you, Danger, for joining us here today. Someone asked, this is a great question, as I hold my cat hostage. Is it worth becoming a pet parent? They said they were moving into a new place and they're thinking about getting a pet. I think it's 1000% worth becoming a pet parent, but let me tell you, it is going to be the hardest work of your life. I'm not even kidding. You should never go into the idea of getting a pet. I don't give a fuck if it's a goldfish, bitch. You should never go into the idea of getting a pet thinking this is going to be easy, okay? And I'm going to be straight up with you. This is a sentient being, a sentient creature who needs time, compassion, care, and money and things. Like, it's basically like getting a child. So if you're in a place where it's like you can't give that time, you can't give that care, you don't have the money to be able to take care of this animal, it might not be worth it. Let me be honest, okay? Like, it just might not be worth it. Even my fish, like my betta fish, I put so much time and attention and care into it. I make sure, of course, he gets fed twice a day. I make sure he has interactive things to do. I'm testing the water quality every single fucking day. There's no such thing as an easy pet when this is a sentient, living, breathing creature who needs like your utmost respect and care. It is my biggest pet peeve when people are like, I'm going to get a cat because it's easy. What are you talking about easy? I think sometimes even cats can be harder than having a dog, Dogs might be a little bit more simpler than cats because it's like, okay, let's go for a 45-minute walk twice a day. Let's make sure you're getting your playtime in. They're a bit more energetic, so they're easier to play with. Cats, they require more like mental stimulation, okay? Your cat's not going to be a good or it's not going to be good if your cat's sleeping 24 hours a day. Even my 14-year-old cat, he still gets his like 30-minute window in the mornings, afternoons, and evenings where I have to physically play with him. I have to have a wand. I have to have a toy. He's not going to play with himself. It's hard work, but it's also so rewarding. It is so rewarding to have a creature that fully trusts in you, that fully loves you, who is there as like an emotional support being, emotional support animal. Even my fish, emotional support fish, okay? It is so wonderful to have just like beings in my life that I am able to put myself aside for to take care of them. It's so nice to kind of let go of yourself a little bit and put all of your time and energy into a creature or a being. It is so rewarding, so wonderful, so amazing. The love and kindness and compassion you get from those animals back is worth all the hard work or money that it takes to put into it. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, it's so easy, just go get a betta fish. It's like, no, even the smallest creature in the world, say you get like a jumping spider, you're going to need to put time and research and care and understanding into, and sometimes some money, sometimes a lot of fucking money. Especially with the economy being bad, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, animals are cheap. Oh yeah, doing anything that involves an animal is cheap. I don't think you should ever go into interacting with a live being thinking it's going to be a cheap experience. That's just not how it is. It really isn't. And I want to be like very forthcoming with that and very honest with you. If it's something you have to wait a little bit in order to do, I think it's absolutely worth the wait to be able to provide the care and appreciation that those living creatures need. But once you are able to, because I even did this with my cat, it was like when I was in my early 20s, I mean, I got him when I was 13. Yes, 13. When I was at college, like, could I have brought him with me? Yes. Would he have gotten the care that he needed in my college dorm? Hell fucking no. That would have been hell on earth for a cat to live in a 6 foot by 6 foot box with like barely any window. Are you kidding me? And then my early 20s, when I was like living in a room in a house, I thought about bringing him with. That was a big thing I talked about. I was like, can I bring my cat with? She was like, yeah, absolutely, but he's gonna have to stay in your room because my dogs aren't cat friendly. And I was like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, he's gonna go from my parents' house to like a room in a house with dogs who are aggressive towards a cat. It doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna be there all the time. I'm not gonna be able to take care of him. When I moved to my first apartment, I was like, I could move him in, but also I was just like a hot fucking mess of a human. I was not gonna be able to provide the care or appreciation he needed. And did that mean, you know, maybe he spent a little bit longer at my parents' house, or I waited until I was able to actually be able to take care of him in a way that he deserved? Yes, but I knew it was for the greater good. I knew it was for the betterment of his health and his being. And I was willing to, or like, be in a place of waiting in order to then be in a better place, or the best place that I could be, to be a good pet parent. I don't know. I really just don't fuck around with living creatures. And if I'm going to have one in my proximity, like me about to get a horse, it's like, I'm going to give the best care possible to that animal because I know that it is deserving of that. These animals can't speak up for themselves. They can't say what's on their mind. They can communicate, but not in ways that we can. So you ultimately have to be able to be presently there emotionally and physically, so you can be that advocate for that animal, that you can be the best possible parent or partner or caregiver to that animal, so then it's able to live its best life. Truly. And that is that on my rant on responsibility. Responsibility is important. And like, yeah, maybe you're not going to be the most responsible individual at 20 or 18 or even 22 sometimes. Sometimes you're a hot fucking mess. And that's okay, but you have to understand, when am I going to be in a place that I'm responsible enough? Is it going to be like a worthwhile investment? Am I going to be able to invest my time fully? Am I going to be able to be a present parent? It's like having a child, you know? And if you're not ready for that responsibility, that's okay, girl. But also having this little creature that trusts so fully in me and loves me and is there for me and I'm there for it. It is such a bond that is so beautiful and just like so rewarding. Even if like technically I quote unquote don't really get anything out of it, it's like that exchange of care and kindness is just so worth it for the presence of having danger in my life. It is so nice. But yeah, I had to wait until I was responsible enough to be able to care for him fully. And now that I am, it's like we're going all in. Dental cleaning, surgeries if necessary, biannual checkups. Like, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure he is taken care of. The best food possible, like even my fish, the best food possible. I'm researching the best beta food. I have freeze dried like little shrimpies in my fucking fridge that I give to him. Water changes, testing the water, literally learning different equations, science equations, to be able to change the pH of the water if it's too acidic, or to lower ammonia in the tank. Like, it's crazy. It is so rewarding knowing that I'm able to provide the best possible care for this animal and to take care of it fully and hopefully give it the best life. It is so nice to put yourself aside for something else. It's also really good for the ego. Like, every month, my cat, for all the supplies that he needs, probably costs me $150 a month, you know? And if you're not ready for that, you're not ready for that. That's okay. But when you are, I highly recommend doing it, being a pet parent, but also being the most present, best pet parent you possibly can. And that means research. That means putting yourself aside. After work, you're tired, you don't want to play with your animal. Guess what? You got to go out there. You got to go on that 45-minute walk. Okay. When I'm taking care of my parents' dog, it's like, we're outside all day. Okay. We're going to the park. We're doing this. We're doing that. I'm making sure she's stimulated. She has like a chewy. She has things to look forward to. But it is so nice to kind of like lose yourself in the research of it all. Lose yourself a little bit. Lose your ego a little bit and give to something that maybe can't give you everything. It's so nice, that little exchange that happens. And having danger in my life truly has taught me so much about responsibility, about putting yourself aside, about learning to love something more than you could ever love yourself. And it's been such a fun journey. And if you can go on that journey, if you have the mental time and space to go on that journey, it is just the best journey to go on. Truly, honestly. Am I ready for children? Absolutely fucking not. But a cat, I can deal with a cat, and a fish, and oh my god, a horse. Fuck, I'm about to have a lot of animals around me, but I wouldn't ask for anything else. I think, I don't know, being around animals, I would rather be around animals than I would humans. Truly, honestly. If the world was just like women, gay men, and animals, the world would be so beautiful. It'd be so beautiful. And the older I get, the more I realize, wow, I really do love working with animals. Even if it's like not the most rewarding thing ever, being in the presence and learning from them and putting myself aside for them is truly all I desire from it. And hopefully my future is filled with many more animals and much more experiences with them. They are just so sweet and so wonderful. Not me gatekeeping pets, but I don't know. There's nothing that pisses me off more than like a bad pet parent. A pet parent who doesn't give a fuck. Like someone who just leaves their dog in a kennel for 24 hours a day. It's like, oh my God, give that dog the life it deserves. Like, what the fuck? And that might be gatekeeping of me, but also it's like, if you're giving that animal a shitty reality, I'm not going to have a lot of patience for you. It's the same way I feel about people who give their kids a shitty reality. It's like, don't have kids if you are not ready to have kids or ready to be the best parent possible, especially when nowadays we do have a little bit more of a choice in doing so. Okay. Every human, every animal deserves the best possible reality ever. So if you're going to have a pet, make sure you're prepared to do so. Hey girl, I struggle a lot with my self-esteem and feeling proud of my accomplishments and comfortable/confident in my skin. I know I'm a baddie, but the dissociation I feel when looking at myself and when it's time to post is cray. I want to own my skin. I know my thoughts and actions rule my life, so how do I learn to love myself again? P.S. I love you in the pod. Immensely grateful for you and all that you do. Oh, I love you. You know what? I think this is something that we all go through, so don't feel too alone on this emotion. It's definitely something that, I don't know, I definitely ebb and flow out of, but I'll tell you kind of what triggers this feeling and this thought, and also like what remedies it. Number one, yes, phone is evil. Comparison, contrasting is going to make you hate yourself. The phone wants you to hate yourself, so then you consume more and you dissociate more from yourself. So step number one to feeling like just not even comfortable in your skin, but just in who you are, identity, self, body, all of it, the whole id of us, is to really like take the leap and take the jump and fully immersed in ourselves. When we are dissociating from ourselves, when we are consuming other people, when we are comparison and contrasting, all things which are mostly triggered by the phone. Yes, the phone, or like back in the 2000s, the magazines even. There's many different triggers in life, but think of like negative, harmful, impactful things like that, consuming TikToks, consuming content, consuming, the ideology of negative, awful, horrible people, dissociating from yourself. When you finally put the phone down, put the magazine up, put whatever it is that's triggering you down, once you're actually in your body, you're going to feel very uncomfortable. Okay. And listen, it's not normal, but it is something that happens. And a very, what I would say, normal effect of just being dissociative from ourselves too much. So, unfortunately, the only way to remedy that, which is a little scary, especially when you're maybe fearful of like really being fully who you are, is to throw yourself into yourself. Okay. Really get out of the negative dissociative habits, get out of the comparison and contrasting habits, get out of, living other people's lives, and get into living your own. That means not just like, sitting there and doing nothing and overthinking who you are. The best way to learn who you are and develop who you are and feel comfortable in who you are is through activity. I am so pro activity. I think it's a great way to be a little bit out of your head, very in your body, and also doing something so you feel a little bit of a distraction, but in a healthy way. Okay. So maybe it's, doing one of these creative habits or hobbies that just sparked in your brain this week. I guarantee when you give into that, when you focus on doing what you feel called to, or just trying something new, or putting yourself fully in yourself, you will feel more comfortable and confident the less you dissociate from who you are. But the only way to remedy that dissociation or feeling unconnected to yourself is to forcefully connect to yourself. And yeah, it's going to be weird and awkward and a little uncomfortable and a little nerve-wracking. It's like meeting someone new for the first time. All right, it's going to be like, hi, how are you? Like, what the fuck do we talk about? Who is this bitch? Is she thinking weird things about me? Like, oh my God, is she like this? Is she that? Like, it's gonna be that awkward first experience you have with anybody, but especially with yourself, it's gonna be like even more awkward because you do know who you are, but you have to be brave enough to like dive in and find it. We also have a really bad habit of being our own biggest bullies. So when you're in that transitionary period of, okay, let's be brave, let's start living our life, let's start being more present in who we are as an individual and learning about ourselves and trying new things. You can't bully yourself into being a better person. You can't hate yourself into loving yourself. That's just not how it works. You gotta work on the internal voice in your head. This is something that I really had to work on because when I was in like my most depressive state, the internal voice, oh my God, my internal narrator, evil bitch, evil, horrible bitch. And why was she like that? Because I listened too much from external inputs, whether it was like consuming too much sad content, consuming too much pro-Anna content, consuming too much self-hate content, Tumblr 2014, real toxic, real bad, consuming too much sad music, consuming too much negative media or negative things. It does warp your perception of the world around you and especially about yourself. So I had to like really cold turkey it. I simply put cannot listen to sad music. If I do, it's like I'm going to be sad for a good 15 hours. I have to be very careful about what I'm consuming and what I'm putting into my brain because it does have an effect on my internal narrator. And I'm trying to make my internal narrator as positive as possible, which means indulging in positive things. All right. Also, not letting my internal narrator really warp my reality. Okay, reality is reality. And usually reality is good. You can warp it into something very negative very easily because negative emotions are easier to attach onto than positive ones. But you have to be careful about allowing yourself to do that, okay? Sometimes, yeah, shit sucks, okay? Maybe there's not a positive outcome. But you can still have that hope and that feeling and that positive self-talk of looking for something positive in the future, okay? When you're like maybe talking down on yourself, you have to combat that. You have to come in and control that and be like, nope, not around here, partner. We're not doing that, okay? You just bullied yourself for about 15 minutes after looking in the mirror. Now you have to give yourself at least 5 compliments, okay? Warping it into a positive reality, controlling the narrator, not letting it go off the rails, and really indulging in like manic positivity in order to combat maybe the manic negativity that you've been feeling, okay? Oh my God, sorry for distraction real quick. I'm like, what is that yelling outside of my house? Here's the local drama. I'm like, what is that yelling? God, I gotta get out of the city. I'm like, oh my God, why are there police officers with their guns out? There's 8 of them outside of my apartment. Bitch, it is 11:30 in the morning. Can you just leave people alone? Like, I'm begging you. I need to get somewhere where it's just peace, quiet, nothing going on. I'm practically begging. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't need to see someone get shot this morning. That is the last thing I need to see. Literally. Oh, wow. Anyways, back on the topic here. Yeah, you're going to feel uncomfortable with yourself when you're not used to being around yourself, or when you're used to dissociating from yourself, or when you're used to comparing and contrasting yourself. So you just got to be brave enough to get back in your body, get back in your skin. Do what you love. Do what you know you love. Be brave to be enough to be alone for a little bit, to challenge those ideas and perceptions you may have, to really control the inner narrative, to make sure that your inner narrative is a positive one, because our thoughts, the way we speak about ourselves internally and externally, do create our reality. I think that's a big part of manifesting. People say manifesting is like, oh, I gotta write in a journal on the full moon and put some crystals on top of it. Yes, sometimes yes, but I truly believe simply the way we speak about ourselves, the way we talk about ourselves, the way we look at ourselves, the way we also just like present ourselves to the world is important and does hold meaning and value in who we turn out to be. When I told myself I'm depressed, I'm horrible, I'm awful, I'm depressed, I'm such a sore to the world, I don't deserve to live. Of course, then I started feeling that way, and then I started behaving that way, and then I started feeling that way to the point where I was like, I got to take myself out. Okay? I literally convinced myself to do that. Of course, mental illness played a big role in that, and I didn't have a lot of control. But once I started being a little bit more in control, I got the help I needed. I learned more about myself. I got more in tune with myself. I realized, wow, I really, really need to work on the way I speak about myself, the way I interact with myself, the way I talk about myself. Because when you hold yourself internally to a high level, when you speak about yourself highly, when you think highly about yourself, it also then projects this energy to other people around you, subconsciously sometimes too, where they also feel that energy and they feel that way about you. Okay? The coolest cool girls are not the ones who have the newest bag, have the best style, have this, have that. It's the ones who just think positively about themselves, who think they're cool. And when you think you're cool, when you like yourself, other people are also going to feel that way about yourself. When you say, you know what, yes, I can do that. I can be this way. Guess what? You're going to go out, you're going to believe in it, you're going to do it, you're going to achieve it. It really is that simple, but you have to build that groundwork. You got to build that relationship with yourself. You got to be brave enough to understand yourself and understand what you need in order to then kind of achieve those things. But I know you can do it. I believe in you. Get off the damn phone and get into your mind and your body. And just activities, hobbies. It really does help. But control the inner narrative. Talk positively about yourself. This is a good topic. Speaking of manifesting, any tips on building a future plan? How much manifesting is too much? LOL. You know what? That's a good point. I like the idea that you just said where it's like, how much manifesting is too much? Because you would think, oh, dreaming, putting ideas into the universe. Like, how can that be too much? How can that be too much? Are you kidding me? But sometimes it is. Sometimes it is too much, babe. Sometimes you're kind of like jinxing yourself. Here's the times when it's too much. When you are telling absolutely everybody about it. I am pro sometimes keeping shit to yourself. You're like, bitch, you're on a podcast with a pink sparkly microphone. What do you mean keeping shit to yourself? I've always been an overshare on the internet, but also sometimes there's things where it's like, I have to move in silence. I have to move in silence. There's people watching me. There's people preying on my downfall. There's bad things that, people who have bad intentions for me, and I need to keep shit to myself. And sometimes, those big plans that you have in mind, the big things, I'm talking like a little bit outlandish, the things that are like maybe 5, 10, 15 years away. Those are the things sometimes you got to keep to yourself and keep those manifestations internal, because a lot of people have limiting beliefs about themselves, and thus they will have limiting beliefs about you. And you don't need that negative energy put onto you. I also think sometimes manifesting can be too much when you're only manifesting and not working, okay? Manifestations are not going to become true unless you actually take adequate steps to move forward towards them. The universe is not going to bless you with gifts or bless you with opportunities or bless you with your dreams unless you are actually putting the work and energy that you need for those things behind it. When the universe sees you invest time and energy into something, it will then give you kind of like that little push you need to make it to the next level. But you sitting here doing absolutely nothing but holding a crystal and a dream and a wish in your heart is not going to make those things a reality. I mean, maybe, but if you want to play the lottery of life, if you want to really up your chances of winning, bitch, you better get to work. You want your manifestations to become real, you got to get a little delusional and you got to work hard for them. I'm not even kidding. It's like this podcast. I don't really do it for the money. I kind of always done it for like, I don't know, fuck it, fun. Let's be honest. I really just do this for fun. But I didn't really see any success from it until like 2.5 years in. Yes, every single week, twice a week, I was doing this for 2.5 years. And then I started seeing something out of it. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know why you're doing it. You have to have that trust in yourself to be able to go forth to do what you want to do. And yeah, bitch, you gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. You want a Maserati? You want a whatever she says? You better work, bitch. You really do. Manifestation song of the year. Work, bitch, Britney Spears. It's so real. It really is. I also uploaded some journal prompts that I think would be really helpful for you. I upload journal prompts usually every Sunday on the Patreon, patreon.com/smokeseshshuddy. I also upload exclusive episodes where I answer every single question. I do giveaways. I do so many different things over there, so come join. But this week's journal prompts are about self-discovery. And I think when we think, working towards the future, figuring out who we are, what do we want to do? A lot of it is simply dreaming, such as like, fuck it. If everything went right in my life, what would I want to be at 85 years old? Who would I want to be? What am I working towards? Like, thinking without limitations is so important in order to achieve things, because the world wants to put limitations on you to hold you to a certain place. But if you dream to the perspective of, okay, if there were 0 limitations on me, what would I do? And then you go after it in that manner with like a delusional belief and hard work ethic, I guarantee you can most likely achieve those things. I'm not even kidding. You see these people who feel like, oh my God, they won the lottery of life. They're the pop stars. They're the this. They're the that. They have a farm. Who knows what it is? Whatever you dream of. Things that seem unachievable. They're not unachievable because that person did it. Those people did it. They were able to do it. But how were they able to do it? They were able to do it because they didn't put limiting beliefs on themselves, manifesting through the idea of believing in themselves, hard work, going after it nonetheless, and never giving up. That's how you go after it. But yes, too much manifesting can be a negative, such as telling everybody your business. There's people who don't want the best for you, so don't do that. And also, by only manifesting and not working, not taking steps towards your dreams, guess what, bitch? Nothing's gonna happen unless you actually take steps forward. I know. Unfortunately so. It's just how it is. Someone said, there's someone in my life who gives me horrible energy, but I can't explain why. Am I insane? No, you're not. I listen to energy. I really do. I am very big into listening to the energetic pull and the gives and takes of the universe. I am very in tune with that. If you're a highly sensitive individual like I am, okay, where it's like, oop, you feel the air thicken with tension at the drop of a hat, you will be able to read this in people. And yeah, sometimes people don't read this in people. Like, especially if they're very positive people, and not that you need to be a negative person in order to be able to see this, but there's this one girl in my life who, love her down. She really is just like butterflies, sparkle, rainbows, beautiful, literally just like the most positive, uplifting person I've ever met in my life. And it's like, okay, girl, but you have opps behind you, and I need you to be able to see them as such. Like, you can't think too positively about people when they're awful people sometimes. Like, sometimes you just got to see reality and energy for what it is. But yes, I have recently become what I would consider a little bit more closed off, and not in a negative manner, not in like a withholding manner, but in a way where it's like, is that person deserving of my energy or time? Is that person deserving of that information about myself? If they have that information about me, are they actually going to hold that in a positive manner, or are they going to use that against me? And not in a way where I'm like schizophrenically believing that everybody has it out for me, because that can be very negative as well. But read the room for what it is. If you're like, ooh, I don't know about this person, I don't know what it is, they just give me this weird oogie boogie energy, listen to it. Your intuition is telling you something for a reason. You're reading that energy for a reason. And maybe it is like you just don't fuck with her. Maybe it is like you just don't fuck with her. Everybody else does, but it's just, she's just not your cup of tea. Valid, real, that's okay. Not everybody's going to be your cup of tea. Does that mean you have to be horrible, awful, evil to them? No, it just means, okay, let me limit my interactions. Let me keep it cordial, but also let me take my distance. That's okay. You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. You don't have to be everybody's best friend. Everybody doesn't have to know everything about you. That's something I'm learning the older I'm getting. It's like, oop, not everybody has the best intentions, even though I do. So let me make sure who I'm letting into my life are people who are not gonna be my biggest haters ever. like what? Hello. But yeah, that's something I recently had to learn, where it was like, oh, this girl is presenting very positive and uplifting to me and like very chill. I like her, but there's something off, to the point where I'm like, I just don't feel comfortable sharing any more information about myself with her. I'm going to keep it very at arm's length. And guess what? After I started doing that, the like problems I was sharing, or the things that I was sharing, or the uplifting like celebrations I was sharing, started going a little bit more smoothly. You know, I wasn't getting as much evil eye on me. My manifestations I was sharing, you know, when I was sharing them with her, and they were kind of like, oop, getting stumbled on, now are actually coming to fruition. It's very interesting. But yes, energy is very real. Listen to it. Some people may think you're crazy, but I don't think you're crazy. I just think you're a real ass bitch. And sometimes you're not going to vibe with people, and you don't have to vibe with everybody. Dare I say, you don't have to vibe with everybody. It can be hard when it's like, everybody loves her, but I don't. That doesn't mean you have to be horrible and evil and awful. Maybe it's just like, it's not my cup of tea. I'm going to keep my distance. And that is okay. But yes, also with like the whole manifestation thing, you don't have to share everything with everybody. Not everybody wants the best for you. In fact, maybe they're doing witchcraft on you. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Someone said, trying to balance how to save in this economy, but also live and have fun and new experiences. I'm just going to accept that it is what it is. Because, like, what am I going to do? And it's so fucking messed up that it's like, ooh, I'm stressed about fucking money and owning a house and being able to start a family when no one else has ever been stressed about this before. Like, think about in the 50s. I think about this all the time. Oh my God, I think about this all the time. In the 50s, men were able to afford, from like a $50,000 salary, not only a house and a wife and children, but sometimes also a secret one on the side that no one knows about, and fully fund both families secretly on $50,000 a year. Hello. Nowadays, $50,000 a year is like, I'm joking, but like literally poverty level. It's like, oh my gosh, everything's so expensive. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Hate you. Y'all been know that though. But also when it comes to like, once again, things out of my control and anxiety, like I can't change the price of gas and oil. Unfortunately, so if I could, I'd make it 20 cents for a gallon. Okay. Get me as president, I'll make everything so cheap because I don't give a fuck. But when things are out of my control, there's only really so much I can do. And if I focus too much on the things that I can't control, I feel like my whole life is out of control. But if I focus on the things I can control, then life feels much smoother and I release the things I can't control. So what can I not control? Bitch, the economy. But what can I control? You know, maybe what I'm spending money on, focusing a little bit more on like maybe cutting down some online shopping, maybe, you know, limiting some like unnecessary spending here and there. So then I can, you know, not worry about rent, not worry about bills, and then also have like a little fun money on the side to go have a little ice cream at the end of the night, to go have a little girls' day patio drink situation. I don't know. My view of money has recently changed. Not in a security way, but in a way I have been viewing it, where I've realized the more I hyper focus and fixate on money and the more I worry about it, somehow the less I have. And maybe it's just like the lack mentality of like, oh my God, I need more, I want more, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. It's like I'm kind of cultivating a negative lack mindset, which makes me feel like I have much less than I actually have. It makes me worry more than I ever have in my entire life. Once I stopped like allowing myself to worry about it, which it was more so like stopped hyper fixating on it. Of course, making sure I have enough for this and that, cutting back wherever I need, hyper fixating on things that I do need, like bills and rent and paying shit off. Hello. Once I stopped worrying about like unnecessary need and greed and I need more, I stepped out of that lack mindset. I found like, oh wow, I do have the $8 to spend on ice cream. Oh wow, I can, you know, go out and enjoy a little drink with my friends. Like it's not that deep. If shit's hitting the fucking fan, I might as well enjoy my time. Does that mean I need to unnecessarily online shop and do this and do that and spend an unnecessary amount of money on things that I don't need? No, maybe let's cut back on that so then I can afford the things that I do need. But also, it's like I'm not going to spend my time worrying because it just puts me in this place where I feel like I have way less than I actually do. And it creates this sense of like fear and panic that I just don't need to be in. I don't need to be in. You don't need to be in. Of course, get your shit in order where you're able to, you know, afford what you need to afford to live. That's important. Let's worry about that. But outside of it, hyperfixating on money is not going to fix your money problem. It's not going to fix your spending problem. It's probably going to make it worse. I've realized the less I think about money and spending money, the less I spend. The less I, you know, indulge in those random online purchases. The less I feel like I have, oh my God, no money in my bank account. So yeah, shit may be bad, but am I going to make that ruin my time here on earth? No. Am I going to make me worry endlessly to the point of becoming a shell of an individual? Hell no. Does it mean maybe I'm going to cut back here and there? Yeah, sure. But am I still going to go out and enjoy that ice cream? Am I still going to maybe indulge in a new type of oil paint? Yeah, fuck it. Because we got to stay sane. We got to enjoy life. I'm not going to be here suffering endlessly because that's what they want me to do. Okay, I'm going to pick up the pieces here and there. We should be enjoying our time here on earth. I want you to enjoy it. Worrying is not going to solve the problem. Focusing on what you can actually change, what's in your control, will help. Absolutely. Sorry if that seems out of touch. I feel like I'm pretty in touch, but yeah, recently I've noticed, because like the past couple months, I've been really hyper fixated on money and like a lack mindset. And it really has just, I don't know, I feel like I've gotten less and less because of my perspective. And once I really was just like, oh wow, thank you paycheck. Thank you paying rent. Manifesting, you know, maybe a couple $100 more next month. Like really just looking at it simply and being grateful for simply having whatever money I do have and appreciating and using my money on things that I actually will enjoy, instead of like having that lack ideal and like, oh my God, I need this. I need to buy this. I need to get this. It's like, no, bitch, chill the fuck out. Okay. Cut back where you can. You don't need that $8 iced coffee. Make it at home. And then you can go out and enjoy. And then you can go out and spend your little ice cream money or your little cocktail money, or, you know, you can buy that dress you've been saving up for. Whatever it is, we were meant to enjoy life, but that lack mindset is not going to help you enjoy what you have. I don't know. I feel like we're in a very interesting position. This will be my last little ramble for the day, but I think it's something that a lot of people are feeling, especially the weight of right now, where I don't know. It feels like we're living in a very odd timeline. A very, very weird fucking timeline where everything's going wrong, nothing positive's happening. Once again, let's not speak that way, but also sometimes it does feel that way, especially if you're like actually reading the news and paying attention to what's going on and the economy and all this stuff. It's like, wow, oh my God, I'm stressed. Okay, I just want to be able to afford a house and maybe a family one day, and maybe be able to do my hobbies, and at the very least just afford groceries and a fun little snack here and there and rent. Shit can get so stressful, especially when you're like an early adult or mid-20s adult. I mean, with time and knowing yourself, it will stabilize, and you will stabilize. The world might not stabilize, but you will. But at the end of the day, what you really need to be focused on is like, do I have a good relationship with myself? Am I working every day to kind of like mend that relationship or put my brain in a positive place? Am I working every day to kind of like uplift the people around me and support the people around me? Am I working every day to, you know, indulge in my hobbies or get to know myself more through my hobbies, or work to live, not live to work? Am I living every day trying to go out and maybe make a positive change, or simply live a positive day, or uplift a person? You know, positive outcomes, positive energy to have a positive income. You know what I mean? But when we get so wrapped up in the tangible things, in the money, the greed, the I need this, I'm not me without this, or the lack of it all, it's going to make life so unbearably miserable. It's going to make you feel so out of control. And as an opposition to authority always in my life, I refuse to let the people get me down. I refuse to let the government get me down. I refuse to let really anything get me down, because I know in my real world where I am able to go out every single day and at least just do my best and hopefully make at least a positive impact in someone else's life, or at least in my life. Okay, I dream big. I go after what I want. I try my best. I try to be a positive individual. I try and invest in my community, invest in myself, and ultimately just the act of doing that does lead to a very positive and joyful life. You know, when you get so wrapped up in, oh, money, I need greed, I need this big positive insane thing, you're never going to feel satiated. You're never going to feel happy. You're never going to feel good about yourself. But when you do really just invest in the little things, okay, making sure you have a good day-to-day routine, making sure you are just doing what you enjoy in your free time, making sure you're trying to have a positive impact on yourself, a positive relationship with yourself, and simply just every day putting your foot forward to what you desire and dream of in life. That's how you live a good, well-rounded, exciting life. That's what makes life worth living. Okay? I don't know. Shit might be fucked, but I'm not the one to be messed up from it. That's for sure. All I can do is, oh my God, danger. He's like, bitch, wrap it up. All I can really focus on is me and what I can do for myself and the people around me, because that's what matters in this life, you know? Anyways, that being said, I love you all so much. I'll be back on my usual grind this week, so there should be a vlog up by Sunday if you want to see it early. It'll be on Patreon, patreon.com/smokeseshshotty. plus much more extra content on Patreon. Come join Patreon. We have such a fun time over there. I love my Patreon girlies. I really just throw as much content towards them as possible. If I ever go MIA on socials, the last place I'll be MIA on is Patreon. But thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Sorry if this was a rambling episode. I'm still kind of like in my fight or flight mode of anxiety, so I'm trying to come out of it and ground myself. But I hope this was a grounding episode for you all. I love you all so much. I'm wishing nothing but the best for you. And I hope you all have the most magical week ever. But with that being said, stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah!